Hello and welcome to Tech Me Out. Today we're going to be taking a look at what is on my iPhone 5. Now I will not be going into every application on my phone, but I will be at least talking about or showing you or touching on every application on my phone. So to kick things off, we're first going to begin with Fantastical up here in the top left corner. This is my go-to calendar app. I don't like the default iOS 7 calendar app. To me it's not very intuitive and user friendly, so instead I use Fantastical. Now I like it because it shows me what I have to do later on within the week. I also like that it's easy to distinguish my different calendars that I have up here. So if you're the type that uses multiple calendars, then this is a very nice app for that as well. So you can get an at-a-glance view of what calendars have an event on a specific day. You can also easily add an event by hitting this plus symbol. So I could type in something like lunch Friday at 8, and it will add it to the calendar for that particular time. I could select show details and choose more things like if I want to send invitations, or if I want to associate it with a different calendar than the default calendar that's showing up here. And if I were to select add, it would quickly add it to my calendar, but I don't want to do that because that was just to show you all. But that's Fantastical. I think it's about 99 cents or $1.99, but either way it's worth the $1 or worth the $2 that they're charging for it. Moving out of there and skipping over these default apps here, I use Google Maps. I like Google Maps in opposed to Apple Maps because I like the fact that Google Maps factors in traffic time. So I can easily tell if a particular route that I'm interested in taking has normal traffic, heavy traffic, or light traffic, which helps when I'm trying to get from point A to B. I also have Instagram up here, my music app, which I don't use much, YouTube, Spotify. That is what I use a lot. Instead of my music app, I found myself going to Spotify quite often, and it's very similar to Pandora. And if you've never used it, then please get from under that rock and go download Spotify right now. What I like about it is that you have your radio station just as you would with Pandora. So you can choose a radio station, it'll find similar music and everything to the artist or song you type in. But in addition to that, it'll allow you to create custom playlists. So here I have a few playlists that I have created, and I can jump into one and quickly play a song, shuffle play, or even make it available offline. So if I'm ever in an area that I don't have a data connection, as long as I've made these particular songs in that playlist available offline, I can still listen to them. I can also search for a particular artist. So here I have searched for Kanye West. It'll show you songs by that person, albums by that person, or with that person, in addition to artists that match that person's name. So probably, the artist that you're looking for themselves, and then songs that may have had them on a remix or something like that. But overall, it's a very nice application. It's free. For that search function I was talking about here, you do have to have the paid subscription, which I think is like $5 or $10. But nonetheless, to me, it's worth it. Next to Spotify, I have the default calendar app, FaceTime, then the Hue app because I do have the Hue lights. I also have Amazon on my home screen because I am an Amazon whore. I am constantly shopping on Amazon. I just love the deals. And I'm an Amazon Prime member, so that just makes me want to go up there and shop. I also have Gmail, my phone, mail, Safari, and message app down here in my dock. I have them in that particular location because regardless of which page I'm on, I want to be able to quickly access those particular applications. So moving on over to page 2, and this first folder here, those are my stock apps. I'm not going to jump into there. But next to that one, I have a folder with the dancing emoji because this is my entertainment folder. And I like to use emojis sometimes to distinguish my folders. Just another creative way of letting me figure out which one is which without words. So looking here, the first app I have is Face Fusion. That allows you to combine two faces, yours and another person's, or two random people, and merge them together to kind of see how your baby would look if you had one, or if those two people had a child together. It's an interesting app. I think it was like 99 cents. In addition to that, I have word search. My favorite game currently though is this heads up game, and that's because it's just fun. It's hilarious and it's fun. So when I open it up, I have a bunch of categories to choose from, but I'm gonna just choose Act It Out. And what would happen then is I would place my phone on my forehead, and the person that I'm playing with would then have to act out the words that are being displayed on my phone. If I were to guess the word right, then I flip my phone down, and if they can't act the word out and they want me to pass, then I flip my phone up. At the end, you get a tally of how many words you guessed correctly that they were acting out, and it also will record a video of them acting out every word that's been displayed on your forehead. So it's kind of fun to go back and watch, you know, how they try to get you to guess a word and things like that. But I definitely suggest this one if you're looking for a fun group play game. Get Heads Up. I also have SoundHound. I use this one to find out what songs are currently playing around me. So for instance, if I'm out maybe in my car or something and a song comes on and I don't know what it is, I can select SoundHound here. It'll listen to the song that's playing, and then it'll tell me what song it is, where I can purchase it at, and it'll even keep in time with the lyrics. Next to SoundHound, I have Hue Disco. That works along with my hue lights, so that when I'm playing music, my lights will change colors in accordance to the beat. Amplify here is very similar to Hue Disco, but Amplify was acting glitchy, so I started using Hue Disco, and I honestly prefer it. It has more options. So if you have hue lights, definitely download Hue Disco. I also have Wallpapers HD. This is my go-to wallpapers app. In my previous What's on My iPhone videos, I've had folders of wallpaper apps, but I've now consolidated it down to just this one, so that's the one I use commonly when I'm looking for one. Next to it, I have TuneWiki. I like to use that if I'm trying to find some lyrics for a certain song. Moving on to my next folder, I have this Airplane. This is my travel folder. So I have Fantastical in here, which lets me see what movies are currently playing, what theaters they're playing at around me, ratings for those movies, as well as showtimes. I also have Ticketmaster that lets me purchase tickets, Yelp, which lets me find different businesses and things like that that are around me. So if I'm in a location that I'm not familiar with, and I'm trying to find, let's say for instance, the closest Walmart or things like that, I could type it in there and it'll show me where it is. I also have Weather Mob. That's a social weather app. I don't use it much. I also have Yahoo Weather, American Airlines, the default maps, Haze, which is another weather app that I don't use much, Duolingo, which is a translator application, Nest, which shows me local restaurants that are around my GPS location, as well as the Passport app. On to the next folder. This is my shopping folder, or my apps that are related to shopping. So I have Amazon here again, PayPal, iTunes, Parcel, which allows me to keep track of my shipments from UPS and FedEx and things like that. I also have BillGuard and Best Budget. Those are my financial apps. Don't use those two particular apps much, if at all, really. I probably need to delete them now that I think about it. And then I have Etsy's mobile app. If you're not familiar with Etsy's website, it's a place where people can create things and place them for sale. So I have the mobile version of that website on my phone. Coming out of there and jumping into my personal folder, which is with the smiley face here, I have some more budgeting apps that I don't use. I also have Buddy TV. Now this is one I use and I highly suggest you download because it just does so much. It's like a TV guide, but it also will let you create a watch list, and if you don't know what's on and you kind of want to know what's popular, it'll show you the most popular TV shows that are on. But jumping back to this watch list option, what I like about it is that I can choose a show and I can add an alert so that it will alert me when the show is airing, either 10 minutes before on up to an hour before. It'll also let me place it on my calendar. So I can select that, and then it will place a specific calendar for all Buddy TV related alerts. So that way when I'm looking at my week trying to figure out what I need to do, I'll have a calendar showing what TV shows are also coming on that I may want to factor into my daily schedule. So jumping out of there, I have 1Password, which is the best password management application I think that you could possibly spend your money on in the App Store. I also have Tweetbot, which is my go-to Twitter app, Google Now, which is Google's version of Siri. I have Mind Moments. This is kind of like a diary and note application in one. I don't think I've used it yet, but it was one of those apps that I meant to get into at some point. I also have Sleepbot to help me monitor my sleep. That way I know when I'm getting a restful sleep, how many hours I've slept, in addition to recording sound while I sleep. But in all honesty, I've used that app maybe 2 or 3 times. I forget to start it up before I go to bed. I also have Dropbox, Zite, Pocket, Pulse, and Reader. These are useful news applications or RSS feeder apps where you can kind of get a at a glance view of all technology related news or all news related to music and things like that, whatever category you so choose. You can get that in those 4 applications. They pretty much do the same thing. I don't know which I would choose over the other because I haven't really played in depth with all of them. I also have love horoscopes and daily horoscopes, my data manager, which lets me manage my data, Cam Scanner and Genius Scan. These 2 are very useful, especially if you have like a document or a picture or a paper or whatever that you need to scan and send off. It makes your phone pretty much turn into a scanner, and it will create a PDF document of whatever you're scanning. In conjunction with these apps or with Genius Scan, I also have Genius Fax. That lets me not only scan something and send it off via email, but also turns my phone into a fax machine. So those 2 work in conjunction with each other. I also have Call Minutes, which helps me monitor my minutes, and My Minutes, which helps me monitor my minutes. I don't use both of those much, but I downloaded it with the intention upon doing so maybe I'll get around to it later. Next to that, I have my games folder. Haven't played with much of these games. I downloaded them with the intention to play them so that I could review them for all of you, so I could give you like the top 5 or top 10 games. But I haven't gotten to that yet, but please stay tuned for it because it is coming very soon. So I'm not going to talk about those. I also have a photography folder, which is symbolized with the emoji camera. So InstaSize lets you take a photo, such as a screenshot, and pretty much on Instagram, you know how to square it off and you'll lose parts of it. InstaSize lets you place a full screen photo into Instagram. And that's really it. You have borders and things like that that you could add to it if you want, but I'm not going to jump into all of that. I also have Over here, which lets you add a picture in your photo album where you can place text on it. You can double tap to edit it and make it say whatever you want. You can add different pictures on top of it. It's just kind of a way to add text and different small features like that to your pictures to customize them a little bit more. So next to Over, I have Kitkam. This one lets me pretty much come in here and take photos and add live effects to them. So I can adjust the filter that's currently on it without having to wait to take the photo to do so. I can also choose from options such as setting a timer for a photo or doing a multi-shot and things like that. And I can even adjust the white balance from within here without having to wait to take the photo. So there are a bunch of custom options in here that I think a lot of you could take advantage of, especially if you're into photography from your mobile device. Next to that, I have PicStitch and PicFrame. These are my 2 applications that I use to make collages out of my photos. I also have PicTapGo. That's another photo editing app. Videos, ViscoCam. That lets you put different layers of filters on a photo until you get the perfect look that you want. I also have Camera Plus, which is very similar to Kitkam. Hipstamatic, Cropic, Reflex, Color, Cap, and Space Effects. Those all let you add filters or different effects to your photos. Then I have a Instagram folder. Now, in my Instagram folder, I have InstaMessage, which lets you create text messages for Instagram. I also have PicSlit, BannerPic, and InstaBanners. These 3 do the same thing, which is basically to take 9 different photos and make them one big photo. So some of you may have seen on Instagram where in your timeline, someone may have a photo that looks like it belongs to a bigger photo type of thing. And then when you click on their profile, you see that that little photo makes up a bigger photo. So it'll be like 9 different photos that make one photo. If you don't still get what I'm saying, follow me on Instagram because I will be using those 3 apps very soon up there to kind of achieve that look. If you don't know my Instagram name, it's TechMeOut. That's TechMe0UT. The link for my Instagram and other social sites that I'm on are going to be in the description box if you want it. I also have Instacap Free, which is the same thing pretty much as InstaMessage. Jumping out of there, I then have my dictionary app. If this happens, then that happens. I think it's IFTT. You can basically create a recipe where if one thing happens, then something else happens. So for instance, if the weather is higher than 85 degrees tomorrow, I want you to send me a text message. Or if I add a photo to a specific album, then I want you to go ahead and upload it to Instagram or Facebook. So it works along with other apps on your phone, and you just have to choose what the trigger is, and then you have to choose what the action is. It's a free application and definitely one worth checking out. I also have CanIStream It. This one's useful because it lets you search for different movies and figure out if the movie is currently available to be streamed, purchased, and also where you can do those things at, like if it's currently streaming on Netflix or if it's currently available for purchase on Amazon and things like that. And next to that one I have Remote, which works with my Apple TV. It's a must-have if you have an Apple TV. And beside that one I have Splice. This one creates smart playlists in reference to the RPM of my music, I think it is. But nonetheless, it kind of gets songs that are similar or the beats are similar, and then it crossfades them into the other. I think it was free, and I say it's still worth checking out. I also have Rise, which functions as my nightstand alarm clock. So I can turn the alarm off or on by sliding here. And then from there, I can tap here to pull up my clock. And you can also choose the background, so you can make it a live background so that it uses your camera and makes that the background of the clock. It's pretty much a gesture-based application. It's free from the App Store, and I recommend this one definitely. Next to that, I have Bills Monitor. That one is my bills app that I like to use, where I can kind of keep a quick reference of what bills I've paid, when I paid them, how much my bills are, and things like that. A lot of little specifications that kind of help me just stay better organized. And next to that I have 8 tracks. This pretty much lets you search for a song, which finds the playlist that the song is in, where you can then play the playlist that the song is in. It's a little different than Pandora and Spotify, but it's another music app that is worth downloading. But that does sum everything up. As you can see, I kind of like to keep it simple to a degree, but nonetheless, I hope there were still apps up here that all of you may find useful. So now I want to hear from all of you. Drop down below, what are your top 5 favorite apps, or what are your top 3 favorite apps? I'm interested to see what you all come up with. In the meantime, feel free to hit me up on any of my social sites. The links can be found down below in the description box. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.